Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spark Rancher with another installment of Building the Team. So last week's testing of the new rules went well. Sadly, only a few people showed up, but I got to play a couple games with the Avengers team. It did all right. I think I'm kind of over the idea of giving Hawkeye the Power Gem, though, as he is a little bit squishy with no damage reduction. So yeah, back to the drawing board there. Anyways, for this week's game. The build idea was suggested by one of the members of my play group, who suggested something akin to something you can do with pawns in chess. Now, for those unaware, when playing chess, if a pawn reaches the other side of the opposite end of the board from where it started, it can be replaced with another piece. Usually, it would be like. Usually, a piece of yours that has been taken out, but this can lead to bringing it basically, oh, you lost your queen. Okay, well, pawn has been at the end. There's the queen. So yeah. Anywho, so the idea here though is that rather than replacing the pawns with figures that have been KO'd, instead they'll be replaced with larger figures of at least 100 up to 100 points. So first, let's take a look at the figures that will be replacing our pawns should they make it to the opposing starting area. Honestly, I really just kind of want something simple. The three heralds that appeared in Future Foundation, starting with Stardust. Stardust here comes in at 100 points. She has the Cosmic and Herald keywords, as well as a trait, a being of pure energy. At the beginning of your turn, you may heal Stardust in one click. The first time Stardust will be KO'd, instead, turn her to click number 7, Protected Pulse Wave. Okay, looking at her dial. On speed, we get some running shot. We have a nice little long batch of hypersonic, followed by a couple clicks of phasing. On attack, we have 2 clicks at the beginning and end of a special attack power. Create black holes at will. Pulse Wave. As a power action, choose an unoccupied square within range and line of fire. Then Stardust can use Pulse Wave at no cost as if she occupied that square. After resolutions, place all hit characters in squares adjacent to the chosen square. Okay. Defensively speaking, we open with Impervious, and we get a nice chunk of invulnerability, followed by a couple clicks of Toughness. Okay, alright. Next, we've got Terrax. Terrax also comes in at 100 points. One other thing to mention with Stardust, as well as Terrax, is they both have the Cosmic Energy team ability, which used to be known as Power Cosmic. They under the new rules, which we are utilizing, well, they have willpower and protect, and they are protected from outwit. And willpower now is basically self-leadership. So yeah. Anyway, Terrax has the Cabal, Offenders, Brute, Cosmic, Herald, and Ruler keywords. It also has improved movement, ignores and destroys blocking terrain. Looking at his dial, we get a nice long block of charge, followed by a few clicks of sidestep on speed. On attack, we have a special power. The Earth shifts and heaves and bows to his rightful command, or to his powerful command. Quake, Giant Reach 3. When Terrax uses a Quake, after resolutions, generate a blocking terrain marker adjacent to each hit character. At the beginning of your next turn, remove all blocking terrain markers generated this way. Okay. Then we get some mid to late dial Blade Claw's Fangs and a final click of the attack special power. Defense-wise, we open up with Invincible, which then gives way to Impervious, then gives way to Invulnerability. On the last click, we have a stop click. Terrax shall destroy you, which grants invulnerability and regeneration. On damage, we have some mid to late dial exploit weakness as well. Alright, okay. Not too shabby. Next up, we've got the Silver Savage, who also comes in at 100 points. And has the Cosmic Energy team ability. Silver Savage has the Cosmic Herald and Warrior keywords. Looking at his dial, yeah, we've got a couple clicks of charge, followed by some flurry, followed by some late dial, I think, yeah, sidestep. On damage, or on attack, I mean, we open up with some quake, we get some late dial resistant strike, followed by special attack power cosmic returns. Steal energy with close or range attacks. Okay. Then on defense, we've got a couple of clicks of invincible, followed by some impervious. We have a special defense power. I will free all of you. It's a stop click, which grants invincible. When first revealed, Silver Savage can't be healed above this click this game. And after resolutions, remove an action token from all friendly characters and equip Silver Savage with it. The Silver Surfboard from outside the game. Okay. We then get another click of Invincible, followed by another click of Impervious. On damage, we have a nice block, nice 5-click block of Battle Fury. Okay. Alright. It kind of negates his 8 range for a while, for obvious reasons. Now, we did mention he does get a equipable object. The Silver Surfboard. Silver Surfboard is a 10-point equipable object. The effect is it grants flight and hypersonic speed. When an equipped character without the cosmic keyword uses hypersonic speed after resolutions, roll a d6. On 1 or 2, give that character an action token. Okay. Alright, okay. Now, looking at our teams. First off, we have ourselves a Marauders team. Our pawn is the Sinister Clone. Sinister Clones come in at 20 points. They have no team ability, but they do have the Battle World Other, Marauders, and Scientist keywords. We've got a trait. Which one? There are so many of us. Looking at his dial, the trait grants shape change. Looking at his dial, we get 3 clicks of Stealth, a couple clicks of Toughness, a first and last click of Perplex. For 20 points, I'll take it. It's not bad, actually. Next up, we've got Vanisher. Vanisher here comes in at 40 points, has the Brotherhood team ability, as well as the Brotherhood of Mutants, Marauders, and X-Force keywords. Now he's an older figure, so his dial isn't on the card, but on speed he opens a special power called Into the Dark Force, which grants him phasing teleport, stealth, and the carry ability, and allows him to carry up to 3 characters. That then gives way to regular phasing teleport. On defense, we open up with some super senses, followed by some energy deflection, and on damage, we open up with nothing, but he clicks into probability control. Okay. Next up, we've got John Greycrow. John Greycrow is actually one of the more recognizable members of the Marauders, the old school Marauders, the XMen villain team Marauders. Now, actually one of the Hellions. So, Greycrow comes in at 60 points, has the Assassin and Marauders keyword, and he has 2 traits. First off, Mutant Massacre. The first time during your turn that one or more opposing characters are KO'd, after action resolved, choose one. This turn, modify this character's speed, attack, and damage values by +1, or heal this character of 1 damage. Okay. Next up, Making Weapons to Hunt. Give John Greycrow a power action to equip a standard object in an adjacent square or a square he occupies. If it's a light object, the effect is that he gets Precision Strike. If it's a heavy, standard heavy, Penetrating Psychic Blast. Okay. Then looking at his dial, again, older figure, so older card, no dial on the card. But we open up on speed with Running Shot, which gives way to some sidestep. On attack, we open up with Willpower, which then gives way to Toughness, which then gives way to Energy of Deflection. And on damage, we open up with leadership, which eventually gives way to range combat expert. Okay. Next up, we've got Bishop. Bishop here comes in at 60 points, has the XMen team ability as well as the Hellfire Club, Marauders, X-Force, X-Men, Detective, Future, and Pirate keywords. We got 2 traits. First off, Absorb Energy. When Bishop is targeted by a ranged attack after resolutions, heal him 1 click and remove an action token from him. Then, Death and Disappearance Investigations. When a standard friendly character with the X-Men keyword is KO'd, Bishop can use probability control until the end of your turn. Okay, alright. Looking at his dial, we get a couple clicks of Running Shot, followed by a few clicks of Sidestep. On attack, we open up with some Penetrating Psychic. We got some Penetrating Psychic Blast. On damage, we open up with a couple clicks of Toughness, followed by a few clicks of Super Senses. And on defense, Toughness and Super Senses. And on damage, we open up with a couple clicks of Outwit. Okay. Next up, we've got Blockbuster, who also has an older figure, so we won't be looking at the dial there. Blockbuster is the bruiser of Mr. Sinister's Marauders. The brick shithouse of the team. The tank. Anyway, Blockbuster at 65 points. He's got the Brute and Marauders keywords, as well as 2 traits. Mutant Massacre, same as John Greycrow, and Brutal Display of Might. When Blockbuster hits with a close object attack, after action is resolved, modify all opposing characters' defense values by -1 until end of turn. Okay. On speed, we got Charge, which he opens up with, and it's all he's got is Charge. On attack, we got Super Strength, and again, that's all he's got. Defense, he's got Invulnerability, which then gives way to Toughness. And that is it for Blockbuster. Next up, we've got Iceman. Iceman here comes in at 65 points as well. Has the X-Men team ability as well as the Marauders, X-Factor, X-Men, and Pirate keywords. We've got a trait, Limbs Freeze and Shatter. When an opposing character within 6 squares misses Iceman, give that character a frozen limb token. Characters with 1 or more frozen limb tokens modify attack by -1. When a character with a frozen limb token hits Iceman, remove its frozen limb tokens. Okay. Looking at his dial, we get a couple clicks of Running Shot to start with, followed by some Sidestep, followed by some Plasticity. On attack, we open up with a nice block of Penetrating Psychic Blast, followed by a couple clicks of Toughness. On defense, we open up a special defense power called Ice Shell, which grants Barrier, Toughness, and Initial Deflection. Which then gives way to use regular Toughness. On damage, we open up with a couple clicks of Enhancement, followed by, we finish up with a couple end dial clicks of Empower. Okay, alright. We got one more figure with an older card. This time it's Sabretooth. Sabretooth here comes in at 75 points. He has the Animal, Marauders, and Weapon X keywords. He also has the Mutant Master trait, same as Blockbuster and John Greycrow. Power-wise, we get some Charge, which then gives way to Leap Climb. On attack, we open with a special power, Massacres are my specialty. Blaze Claw's Fangs give him a close action to make any number of close attacks, each targeting an adjacent opposing character that was not already targeted during this action. That thing is with regular Blaze Claw's Fangs. On defense, we open with Toughness, which then gives way to Combat Reflexes. We get some regeneration. And then on damage, we got some Battle Fury. Okay. Next up, we've got Storm. Storm here comes in 85 points, has the X-Men team ability as well as the Marauders, Quiet Council, X-Men, and Pirate keywords. She also has improved targeting, ignores characters. Oh, crud. Then we've got 2 traits. First off is Crackhole Revival, which we'll look at later on. Then we've got My Best. No, the main bolt is still charging. When Storm hits with a range attack after resolutions, give a hit character a Lightning Rod token. When Storm targets a single character with a Lightning Rod token with a range attack, she modifies damage by +3. At the end of your turn, remove all Lightning Rod tokens that weren't given this turn. Okay. Looking at her dial, We've got a long block of running shot, followed by a couple of sidestep. An equally long block of energy explosion, followed by some precision strike. On defense, we've got some toughness, followed by combat reflexes. On damage, we open up some leadership, which then gives way to perplex, and then we get some late dive close combat expert. Okay, alright. Finally, for our Marauders team, we've got Emma Frost. Emma here comes in at 90 points. And has the X-Men team ability. She's also got the Crackhole Revival trait. Oh boy, I'll deal with that later. As well as the Cabal, Hellfire Club, Marauders, Quiet Council, X-Men, Politician, and Ruler keywords. She also has another trait: all Krakoans enjoy the privilege of diplomatic immunity. Which makes her protected from penetrating psychic blast. Friendly characters within 4 squares with the X-Men keyword also have, who have taken damage this turn, take a maximum of 1 damage from attacks. Okay, alright. Looking at her dial, we open up with some sidestep, followed by some mind control on speed, incapacitate, followed by penetrating psychic blast on attack, impervious, followed by super senses on defense, leadership, followed by probability control on damage. Not too shabby. As for Crackhole Revival, oh, wait. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Crackhole Revival. For all characters with this trait, when a friendly standard character with the X-Men keyword and a lower point value will be KO'd by an opposing effect, you may instead choose to turn that character to a starting click this game and place them adjacent to a friendly character that can use this trait. If you do, your opponent scores that character and generates a bystander on this card of their choice adjacent to any of their characters. Your opponent then scores 10 points for each bystander they generated this game via this trait, regardless of source. Now we've got Skinless Assassin and PhD Apes, as well as Orcus Soldier, Clan Akaba, Horde Culture, and Phobos Armor, and their possibilities. With the now, there's only a handful of characters that can be affected by it. Storm, Iceman, Bishop. That's actually it, really. But anyway, next up we got ourselves a Fantastic Four team. So our pawns are, instead of generics, sidekicks. First off, we've got Valeria from Future Foundation. Valeria comes in at 20 points, has the Fantastic Four team ability, the sidekick key phrase, as well as the Fantastic Four and Scientist keywords. Power, looking at her dial, we've got Inertial Deflection, followed by Perplex. Okay. Next up, we've got Leech, who also comes in at 20 points and has the Fantastic Four team ability. He also has the Fantastic Four, Morlocks, X-Factor, and X-Men keywords. And looking at his dial, we've got some Stealth and some Outwit. Okay. Finally, we've got Adolf Impossible. Adolf here comes in at 25 points and has the Fantastic Four team ability, as well as the Fantastic Four and Cosmic keywords. Looking at his dial, we've got some Pulse Wave on attack, and on damage with a special power, my dad thinks I'm entirely too possible. As a power action, if there's no d6 on this card, roll 1 and place it on the card. When a character within range and line of fire rolls an attack roll, you may remove the d6 from this card and replace a die in the roll with it. It's actually kind of fun to use, and it has turned the tide a few times for me already. Next up, we've got Mr. Fantastic, also from Future Foundation. Mr. Fantastic here comes in at 60 points, has the Fantastic Four team ability, as well as the Fantastic Four, Illuminati, and Scientist keywords. We've also got a trait, train the next generation of leaders. Leadership, friendly psychics can use leadership. Okay, so that means that as long as Mr. Mr. Fantastic's in play, Valeria, Leech, and Adolf Impossible all gain leadership. Okay. Looking at his dial, we've got some plasticity, followed by some late climb on speed. On attack, you get nothing till the back half of the dial, where we pick up some incapacitate. On defense, we got just the front half with super senses. And on damage, we open up with the first half of the dial is outwit, the back half is shape change. Okay, alright. Next up, we've got the Invisible Woman from Fantastic Four. Invisible Woman comes in at 75 points, has the Fantastic Four and SHIELD team abilities, as well as the Avengers, Fantastic Four, Lady Liberators, SHIELD, Celebrity, and Spy keywords. We got 2 traits. Yeah, my power set is really good for espionage. Stealth, improved targeting, hindering terrain. Adjacent friendly characters that share a keyword with her can use stealth and improved targeting, ignores hindering terrain. Okay. The other trait is Formerly Fantastic Four, which honestly isn't something we're really being worried about with this. But looking at her dial, we get a nice block of running shot followed by some force blast. On attack, we open up a special power, I Won't Kill Anyone, which transfer incapacitate. When she uses it, after resolutions, hit characters modify attack -1 until your next turn. Okay? Now keep bear in mind, incapacitate is now one of those always on powers, so yeah. She's still doing her damage. When she still do damage with that incapacitate. Anyways, the special power is then followed by some precision strike. Defensively speaking, we open up with initial deflection, followed by some toughness. Damage-wise, we open up with probability control, which then gives way to perplex. Okay, alright. Next up, we've got Wolverine from the Fantastic Four set. Wolverine comes in at 75 points, has no team ability as well, but he's also got the Fantastic Four, Weapon X, and X-Men keywords. We got 3 traits. New kind of fantastic teamwork. When Wolverine hits with a close attack, until your next turn, after other friendly characters with the Fantastic Four keyword can use Flurry. Okay. And we've got I Won't Stay Down Easy. When Wolverine will be KO'd, except by this trait, instead put him on this card with 4 healing tokens. At the beginning of your turn, remove a healing token. When you remove the last one, place them on the map on click number 6 within 4 squares of a friendly character with the Fantastic Four keyword. You can't KO him. Protected. Pulse Wave. Okay. Finally, the new Fantastic Four. Passenger 1, but only to carry characters with the Fantastic Four keyword. Once per turn, when Wolverine is carried in place adjacent to 2 or more opposing characters, after resolutions, he may make a close attack. Okay. Then, looking at his dial, we open up a special speed power, Bloodthirsty Barrage, which grants him charge, flurry, and sidestep. When he KOs an opposing character after resolutions, remove an action token from him. Okay. That thing is with a regular flurry. We got a full dial of Blades, Claws, Fangs. On defense, we open up with some toughness, followed by some combat reflexes, followed by regeneration. Now on damage, all we've got is last couple clicks of Battle Fury. Okay, alright. Next up, we've got Wolverine from the Fantastic Four Fast Forces set. Wolverine here comes in at 75 points, has the Fantastic Four and X-Men team abilities. She's also got the Fantastic Four, Weapon X, X-Force, and X-Men keywords. We got a trait, Blades, Claws, Fangs, protected, outwit. Okay. The blades themselves, her Blades, Claws, Fangs can't be outwitted. The rest of her powers still can be. It's protected, not all caps, just regular. Then looking at her dial, we open up a special speed power, Biologically Engineered Killing Machine, which gives her charge and flurry. That thing gives way to regular flurry. We have a full dial of precision strike. Defensively speaking, we open up with toughness, which then gives way to combat reflexes. We get a last click of regeneration. And then on damage, we have a full run of Battle Fury. Nice. Okay. Next, we've got Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider here comes in at 75 points. He's got the Fantastic Four and Mystics team abilities, as well as the Fantastic Four, Marvel Knights, Midnight Suns, and Mystical keywords. You got 2 traits. First off, new Fantastic Four, same as Wolverine. New kind of fantastic teamwork, which works the same way as Wolverine's, only instead of granting flurry, it grants exploit weakness. Looking at his dial, we open up with a few clicks of running shot, followed by some plasticity. On attack, we open up a special power, no hiding from judgment, which gives him penetrating psychic blast and improved targeting, ignores hindering terrain. When making a range attack, if Ghost Rider's line of fire crosses hindering terrain, modify attack and damage by +1. So technically speaking, you could pump him up to a 12-4. 12-4 doing penetrating damage. That's not bad at all. That then gives way to some poison. Then on defense, we open up with vulnerability, followed by toughness, and we get some late to exploit weakness on damage. Okay. Next up, we've got SheHulk, who we will likely be seeing on every Fantastic Four team going forward. SheHulk here comes in at 75 points, has the Fantastic Four team ability, as well as the Fantastic Four celebrity keywords and improved movement, ignores and destroys blocking terrain. We also have a trait, the Fantastic Four, for 4 minutes. Once per turn, you may re-roll an attack roll that has a 4. Okay. Again, her dial. First off, it's long. Get a few clicks of charge, and some size up, and some plasticity. On attack, we open up with some super strength, followed by some quake. Defensively speaking, we open up with impervious, followed by invulnerability, followed by toughness. On damage, we open up with nothing, but eventually we get some late dial perplex. Okay. Alright, and finally, that's another thing about this team, is that every team must have a king. For the Marauders team, the king is Emma Frost. For the FF team, the king is Doom. Dr. Doom. One thing is that the king must possess the ruler keyword. Anyways, so this is Dr. Doom from the Fantastic Four Future Foundation Fast Forces. He comes in at 100 points. He's got the Minions of Doom and Fantastic Four team abilities. For those unaware, Minions of Doom, when this character KOs a standard opposing character, after resolutions, heal 1 click on a friendly character using this team ability. Okay. Then we open up with we got the Fantastic Four, Liberia, Mystical, Ruler, and Scientist keywords. We have a trait. Once again, I prove my superiority. When an opposing character would move adjacent to Dr. Doom, roll a d6. On a 4 through a 6, choose one. That character immediately ends their action, or after resolutions, deal that character 1 penetrating damage. Okay. Looking at his dial, it's fairly long. We get some running shot followed by sidestep on speed, penetrating psychic blast followed by energy explosion on attack, energy deflection followed by toughness, two of each alternating on defense, and on damage we have on the back half of the dials a full run of support. Okay, all right. Finally, and I finally have enough stuff to really play around with it. I opted to build myself a Liberia team. Liberia being a keyword that was introduced in last year's Fantastic Four set. So the pawns for this team are Doom bots, because of course Doom bots here come in at 15 points. Have the Minions of Doom team ability, as well as the Liberia armor and robot keywords. Looking at their dials, we get a click of running shot followed by a click of sidestep on speed, a couple of clicks of energy explosion on attack, toughness followed by energy deflection on damage or defense, and on damage with special power, the real Doom, or for all characters with this power, when a friendly character with the Liberia and Ruler keywords would be targeted by an opponent's attack or use of Outwit or Perplex, you may roll a d6. On a 4 through 6, that opponent chooses an untargeted Doom bot to become the target instead. The new target must be legal, and you don't choose a power for Outwit until after a new target is chosen. Okay. Not too shabby. Next up, we've got Puppet Master, the only super rare from Future Foundation I've pulled more than one of. Puppet Master comes in at 40 points. He has the Team Player Wildcard team ability, as well as the Liberia and Scientist keywords. He also has a trait, You Are All My Puppets, which allows him to start the game with a radioactive clay equipped. When he uses its effect, it does not KO after he hits with it, though. And the radioactive clay, actually, whoopsie. Well, just look at the dot, picture on the dot on the card. What it does, the effect, mind control with a range of 10, but only to target a single opposing character. When the character uses it, they can use improved targeting, ignores blocking, elevated, and hindering, and when they hit after resolutions, you KO the radioactive clay. Unless Puppet Master is using it, in which case, yeah. Anyway, looking at Puppet Master's dial, we get a few clicks of stealth, followed by a couple clicks of sidestep. We get some precision strike, followed by incapacitate. Super senses, followed by willpower. And on damage, it's shape change, followed by outwit. Okay, alright. Next up, we've got Kristoff. Now, for those unaware who Kristoff is, Kristoff was introduced, I believe, during John Byrne's run on Fantastic Four. He claimed to be the son of Doctor Doom. And during an absence of the Doctor, he took over as the country's ruler. It was later revealed that he was not the son of Doctor Doom, and he was deposed, and Doom was returned to power. Anyway, Kristoff comes in at 75 points as the Minions Doom team ability, as well as the Liberia Armor, Mystical, Ruler, and Scientist keywords. Looking at his dial, we open up with special speed power, Working from the Shadows, which grants him mind control, sidestep, and stealth. Then that gives way to his regular sidestep. On attack, we open up with some precision strike, followed by telekinesis. Defense, we open up with you think I'm mad, we start off with invulnerability, and then we get the special power, which is a stop click, which grants impervious. When first revealed, knock back all adjacent opposing characters 2 squares. Okay. Then we get some toughness after the stop click. On damage, we open with some leadership, followed by outwit. Okay, alright. And actually, he is our king. Next up, we've got Kang the Conqueror. Title character from Avengers, Black Panther, and the Illuminati. Kang here comes in at 80 points. He has the Avengers, Council of Kang, Young Avengers, Future, Past, Ruler, and Scientist keywords. We'll take a look at his title abilities. First we'll look at the dial. We open up some running shot, followed by some sidestep, followed by phasing teleport on speed. On attack, we open up with penetrating psychic blast, followed by precision strike, followed by incapacitate. On defense, we open up with inertial deflection, followed by super senses, followed by invulnerability. On defense, we open up with probability control, followed by perplex, followed by outwit. Now, his plot abilities. Now, first off, every title character has a KO ability. When they're KO'd, a KO effect. When they're KO'd, the following takes effect. When KO'd, at the end of each opposing player's turn, that player rolls a d6. On a 4 through a 6, that player may remove an action token from one of their characters. Also, a character with a title character takes 1 unavoidable damage if they activated a plot ability but didn't attack an opposing character. Kang starts off with no plot points. You can add 1 and free, generate a time portal marker in a square within range and line of fire. Remove 1, free. Place Kang the Conqueror in an unoccupied square within range that has a time portal marker, and then heal him 1 click. Okay. Then minus X, Kang Wars. X is any number up to the number of unoccupied time portal markers on the map. As a free action, place Kang the Conqueror in an unoccupied square with a time portal marker, and then give him a closer range action. After resolution to remove that marker, Kang the Conqueror may be given this free action up to X times. Okay, alright, that's kind of neat. Now, something you may have noticed, he does not possess the Latveria keyword, yet I did say this was a Latveria theme team. That's where our next figure comes into play. Morgan Le Fay. Taking advantage of having pulled her legacy card from my Hall of Future Foundation, Morgan Le Fay comes in at 100 points, has the Minions of Doom team ability, as well as the Avengers, Librarian, Mystical, Pass, and Ruler keywords. We also have 3 traits. Reborn once again. Start at 100 points, she starts at click number 1. At 50 points, she starts at click number 4, and she gains the Mystics team ability. Okay, alright. Doom and Mystics. Next up, my alternate Avengers. When establishing theme teams, you may treat Avengers and Latveria as a single keyword. She also gains Perplex. So, because she's on the team, Kang has the Avengers keyword the Avengers and Latveria keywords are one and the same. Finally, Cold Steel is my bane. When an opposing character deals damage with an object, or deals damage using Blaze Claw's Fangs, or while equipped, increase the damage dealt to Morgan Le Fay by 1. Okay? Looking at her dial, we open up with some Facing Teleport, then we get some Mind Control, then Stealth, back to Mind Control, and we wrap back up with Facing Teleport. On attack, we go back and forth for a while between Penetrating Psychic Blast and Poison, before wrapping up on the last couple clicks with Pulse Wave. On defense, we open up with special power Astral Form Fade. Toughness. As a free action, choose one to use until your next turn. Combat Reflexes or Initial Deflection. That then gives way to Willpower, some mid-dial Willpower, and some late-dial Regeneration. On damage, we open up with some Shape Change, followed by some Probability Control, and then we finish up with more Shape Change. Okay, alright. Next up, we've got Victorious. Victorious here comes at 110 points. Whoa. Has the Cosmic Energy and Minions of Doom team abilities. As well as the Latveria, Armor, Cosmic, Herald, and Ruler keywords. We have a trait by Dr. Doom's side. Defend, but only to replace the defensive characters with Doom in their name. Okay? Looking at her dial, we got a nice long block of Running Shot, followed by a couple clicks of Hypersonic Speed. We open with some Penetrating Psychic Blast, followed by a couple clicks of Pulse Wave. On defense, we open up with special power Cosmic Energy Flare, which gives her Impervious, and when she moves after resolution, she gets Initial Deflection until your next turn. Okay. We then get some regular Impervious, followed by some Invulnerability. On damage, all we got is some late dial Perplex. Okay, alright. And finally, we've got Dr. Doom, Sorcerer Supreme. The Sorcerer Supreme here comes in at 150 points, has the Minions of Doom and Mystic team abilities, as well as the Latveria, Armor, Mystical, Ruler, and Scientist keywords. We get 2 traits. First off, we won't be using this one, but the Many Faces of Doom. At the beginning of the game, you may choose a starting line of equal points on a character from your sideline that also has this trait. If you do, replace this character with the chosen character. Okay. Next up, the world will always have a Sorcerer Supreme. When an opposing character is turned to its starting click this game after resolutions, roll a d6 and heal Dr. Doom, the Sorcerer Supreme, equal to half the result. Ooh, nice. Next, now looking at the dial, we open up with some Running Shot, followed by some Facing Teleport, then back to Running Shot, we wrap up with more Facing Teleport. On attack, we have a long block of Penetrating Psychic Blast, followed by another sizable block of Pulse Wave. On defense, we open up with special power Mystical Shielding, which grants Energy Deflection and Super Senses. We then get Super Senses for the rest of the dial. On damage, we open up with special power Change the Fates. Once per attack, you may re-roll the attack roll of a character within range and line of fire. Then we get some regular, and then we go back and forth between that and regular probability control. Also, his range is 8, so that's yeah. Anyway, that's it for this installment of Building a Team. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying live long and rock hard.